Yeah. Alright, we live. We
Okay.
good.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. It's different here.
Yo. Alright. King Aries.
AJ Raw, and you are now tuned into
BunDat
podcast.
Shit. Durag game.
Hey, I had to step up.
You said he wasn't gonna do it.
Nah, I know. But shout out to Nkusi, you feel what I'm saying? Like, he got his braids and everything set up, and he always be telling me to step my durag game up, because obviously you can't have waves without a rag. I'm just trying to sort them out. I feel like this is different, you know what I mean?
What material is that?
This is silk. This is velvet silk. You feel me? It's a little different. It sit different on the top of the head.
Silk durag.
Oh, we not playing.
We silky.
We not playing. Silky gang.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's gonna be the hashtag.
Yo, we popping right now, you know.
I
need a shave though. I can see the difference by looking at your face. Like I want to lie myself.
You know
what's?
I haven't even lined myself. This is just I'm just maintaining it. Like,
okay.
You feel me?
I need to maintain.
Yo.
Wait, what's good, guys? Love. Usually we get straight into it, but what's good, guys?
Back in another week, episode 12.
Yeah, that was good. Usually we get straight into it, but what's good? You know, hit up those comments. Let us know what's good with you. You know what I mean? What you going through? Talk to us. What's good? Vent. Do you know what I mean? Because we're always talking at you. Let us know. All right. Enough about your sad lives. Now we're getting to our thing now, man. You had your moment. You know what I mean? I gave them a moment. Shit.
You don't do them like that.
Yo. So let's get into our first subject here. This one, it was hard for me to come up with even a title. So I'm probably gonna have to come on the title and I have to type it out to actually write it for YouTube. So I have to explain this subject. So this is like I think a lot of minorities can relate to this. You know, so I think Asian people, Oriental people, African people,
Everyone.
Caribbean people, American people, Mexicans, Arabs. Shit, I'm gonna keep going. I got A star in geography, you know what I mean?
My boy is a scholar, bro.
So this subject, it was brought to me from a viewer. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you lot bring subject to us, we'll put it out. And this subject is basically this generation of immigrants, this new generation of immigrants, us, you know, growing up from the 20s to mid 20s to 30s and up, the below 50s, yeah,
Under 50s.
This generation, you know, got degrees. Some of them got great jobs. This generation can really make it, be successful, be financially secure, own properties, do a lot of things, you know, drive nice cars, range, and you know what I mean. And one thing that seems to be holding some people from that is extra burdens by the family. And what I'm explaining is, so in a lot of ethnic households, the generation that made it, whether it's a degree or they've opened up a business or they got a great job, they're just one step away from financial freedom and security. One step away from owning a business to big business, or from having a job to get into that next level of independence. And what stops them from reaching that next step, which their counterparts can easily reach, is certain responsibilities that are put on them as a burden. So what I keep seeing a lot of is if you've made it and you've got your education or you've got a good job, just as you're about to be a homeowner or fully outright own your business or get to that next level, you have to now, say, pay your mum's bills or be sending a big percentage of that income back home. Right, be giving it to a religious organization.
Yeah.
So basically, that capital that you would have otherwise used to reinvest and get to that next level, where then you can really then help people, because instead of giving handouts, you could have a big business, you can employ people, or you could have properties and all these other things. You just are so close, but you never make that next step, because every month you're paying your mama's rent or sending money back home, or just other kind of responsibilities like that. While as your non-immigrant peers just fly past you, because they can use that full capital to not just enjoy life, they can use that full capital but to invest in themselves, to reinvest, and they can open up that new branch or buy that property out or get a better mortgage deal because they've got more cash up front. So they're not burdened with having to pay their mum's bills or take care of someone back home or give a percentage to a religious organization yet.
Right.
So what ends up happening is they get to that next level, that full level of financial freedom where they own their lives, where they can retire early, they can have properties, they can choose anywhere to live, they can go back home, or they can go to a tropical place where you're from that you can't afford to go. They can do all these things, and also they're in a position where if they choose to, they can actually help people because now they can employ people or they can house people because they own stuff, because they were able to use the capital that they were making, save it up and
invest.
Own stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And you're stuck in a circle as a minority because you can't do that. You're close with the education or the good job, but each month there's a percentage of that capital that you can't invest because you're helping someone. So it kind of stops you from fully helping yourself to get to that next level. Do you know what I mean? Do you have any like experiences of that yourself?
Well, one thing that I would generally say is like within the past, I would say year or so, I just remember being at my dad's shop at one point. You know, on a casual scene how he's doing and stuff. And he just literally was like, oh, so when you send the money back home? And when I say I froze, like, because it was always something that I knew that he did.
Yeah.
He was always telling me, yo, go put this in this account, go do this, go do that. And I didn't know at the time that what he's doing is he's managing his money and where it's going and who he's giving it to and stuff like that. He'd make me count it out. He'd make me know exactly how much I'm putting in and stuff like that. What I didn't know was the other side to that, which was he was making sure that exactly how much he would put away is exactly going to a specific destination, whether it be back home or back into a business or whatever.
Yeah.
So for the first time when he asked me, it was now coming back full circle that, oh, wait a minute.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. Hold on. Wait. I'm not ready. Like, I'm not prepared.
Circle,
I don't know how to handle all of this stuff. Like, the circle just came back right round and just snapped me back right in the face. And I didn't
no training, no warning,
no nothing. I didn't know how to handle it because I've been watching him do it effortlessly for the past 15 years.
Oh, he makes it look effortless, you know?
Right?
Like a lot of times, like I said, a lot of times there's a struggle for people.
I had no idea that there was so much that goes into it because obviously this was before my time. This was before I knew what full adulting was. I didn't know that when you make money, like, other people are looking at it as if, no, we've made money.
Yeah. That's not even, that's ethnic adulting.
You understand what I'm saying?
Other adults that, they have 100% of what they have.
Yeah.
They can even blow if they want.
Yeah. And they've always said things like, you know, they've questioned how much I've had. They've just to see, like, to check the temperature, and they've always never understood why. And most of the time it would just be like, well, I'm not going to take it from you, this, that, and the third. But like at the same time, they would always mention like back home when you're gonna go see your grandma, when you're gonna this, when you're gonna that. And obviously when you go back home,
you ain't coming empty-handed, boy.
You gotta go with something.
They gonna be right at the airport like,
you gotta go with something.
London boy.
Gifts, presents,
they
money,
like
food, something. Because remember, they're looking at us as if we're privileged just because we're in a different country than them, and they don't know that things is way different out here. So when it comes to us sending money home, like, it's a particular percentage that we actually could use, but we're just about in a better position than they are just about.
Some. I see people who are sending money back that have no business sending money back, but they're trapped in this circle where no one will believe them. They've tried to explain that, listen, I'm a cleaner or I'm whatever, I'm trying to find my way. But no one believed them because their mind is just that, nah, you're in London, like, we know how much they earn, the streets are paid by gold, you know what I mean? So, and then also it's like the emotional strings as well, because these people are like blood relatives, and you know they're suffering. Do you know what I mean? So I know people who are living harder lives here than the people they're sending money to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's tough to watch as well, because it's a circle. They expect it. It's an entitlement. It's a, listen, we're blood. I took care of you. No choice. I carried you as a baby. I did this or whatever. Without that, you wouldn't have been there. So then there's a guilt of, man, I need to send back. Yeah, you feel like you owe. And it's a circle, man. Like, I see it with and it's not just a poor problem or an underclass problem. I've seen this in sport. I've seen this in the NBA with millionaires. I saw an interview where a bunch of players were being interviewed, and Kyle Korver, he stood up to me because he was the white player in the room, the white basketball player in the room. So as we were talking about the different things that makes people go bankrupt because they're multimillionaires, it was like, you're thinking they're gonna be like cars, strippers, whatever, and it was like, no, it's like bad investments was coming up a lot. Like a lot of athletes going bankrupt. It's not that they're throwing money away. No, they have like portfolio managers and stuff who give them bad advice. And that's the thing with investment, they can go up and down, but sometimes it's really bad advice, and these portfolio managers are just greedy and they take for themselves and they don't protect these players, because sometimes you have to remember some of these guys are like 18, 19 on big contracts into sport,
and that's their first time that they've got all that money. They don't know what to do with it.
But one thing that kept coming up with everyone, it was actually family burdens. A lot of players felt like, because we're not discussing like their first million, the first check that they got, which is like $1 million plus. Majority of it that kept coming up was family burdens. Oh, I had to buy my mama a house, and it was never like a normal house. It was like some mansion. And what was crazy, it was like the interview, I didn't understand, because these people lived in terrible homes. So why didn't you just want a normal house? Because now the thing with the mansion, it has to be maintained, which more money is coming, and they're not earning enough to maintain it.
They only earn enough to buy it.
So the athlete has to keep maintaining it. So it doesn't just become a burden in one purchase, it becomes an ongoing burden. And another thing was like the car, whatever. You can't just get yourself a nice car. You have to get your parents one or what. And the issue is with a lot of the athletes, they get perks where they get given the car.
Yeah, exactly.
But the parents looked at it as in, well, you've got one, I need one too. So the athlete could actually live with that car because they didn't pay for it, but now they have to pay for cars for like a family. So you see a lot of these things, and then family want investment money. Everyone has a great idea when you become a millionaire. Yeah. So as these talks were going on, Kyle Korver was just like, wait, hold on, wait. You pay your mama's rent? Like he couldn't his word was, you pay your mama's rent? And all the black guys in the room were like, yeah, we're like athletes, we're like multi-millionaires or whatever, innit? And they thought the response was normal, like, because we're so rich, we pay our mama's rent. And Kyle was just like, my mum's, and he's white by the way, and he's like, my mom's never asked me to pay her rent. Wow. And also, my mom's never needed me to pay her rent. Wow. Look, like, I'm in the same position as you.
Look at the privilege though.
Yeah, I'm in the same position as you, but like, mom take care of. But once you start asking questions, going deeper, is like he exposed a lot of mental barriers within the culture, because he, like, once you ask questions like, what? So before you sign the contract, how was she paying the rent? What's stopping her from doing that now? Do you know what I mean? And just stuff like that, and it was like, because you start creating these crashes.
Killer questions, boy.
You start creating, because it's not, because obviously, like, if I got a meal, I would probably buy my mum a house or pay her rent or whatever, innit? So I'm not saying you shouldn't, because I probably would. But this made me aware of, no, I would buy my mum a normal house. Yeah. No, something, a one-off payment, something that would be a good investment.
Or I would pay off the house that we're currently living in.
Yeah, something that would be a good investment that she can own that if she wants to, you know, make money if I sell it. Yeah. But not something crazy, because listening to this talk with these millionaires made me realize how much of the same problems I've heard from even cleaners that they have. And it's like a mental barrier, because what Kyle Korver should make clear to them is, it's nice and you feel responsible and you might have a guilt if you don't, but if you don't pay your mama's rent, she's not going to get kicked out on the street.
That's it. Because she was paying it long before you got there.
With your first contract, nothing is guaranteed.
If you get injured, it's a wrap.
You know what I mean? So you should really be trying to invest a majority of that, or try to make moves with that. But now you can't, and your capital is locked up. Guess what? He can. So now he'll be in a position, if he wanted to, in about 5 years, to pay his mama's rent forever if he wanted to. Because he did the first initial stage of managing the money and not paying off. Do you know what I mean? While as they get in a trap where they have to start accepting deals and certain things, because they've, with the first million, they've tied themselves up in housing contracts and paying people's rent, and also now you've created, you've met the expectation, so you've created the reality of this expectation. It becomes harder to take it away now in the future. Wow. You see the issues that happen. And that was just one thing. I was a millionaire, and I would give one more other thing. So I was at work and I was talking to a cleaner, and me and him, our salaries were we live in different worlds.
Right, completely.
So I'm talking to the cleaner, and he's talking about how he goes back home a lot, sends money back home a lot, and all that kind of stuff, innit? And I was like, I wish I could do that. Like, you know, this is the truth. I said, I wish I could do that. And this is not work now. This is years back when I wasn't earning as much as I'm earning now. I was still earning good money, but it was nothing compared to this. But I was still earning way more than him. Can you imagine? So I said, I wish I could do that. He looked at me like, man, I'm earning peanuts, and I'm able to send money home. What do you mean you wish you could do that?
Right.
So he's like, nah, you just selfish or something. Like, no offense. And I was like, none taken, but honestly, I don't know how you're doing it on what you're earning. So me and him started talking, and what he was explaining to me is he just lives on what he can. So he's living month to month on what he can, because as long as those people back home are taken care of and they're good, you know, then he can continue. But he doesn't feel he can do what I'm doing, especially with how much I earn, way more than him, and I'm just sending zero back home or whatever. Right? Do you know what I mean? So then I kicked him some game. So I was like, the reason I say I wish I could do that, I'm not talking about that I don't have access to these funds. I'm saying I wish I could do that because I have different accounts. When I get paid, my money, that direct debits and stuff go into different accounts. Yeah, standing orders. And I was explaining to him, I have an ISA, because even from back then I was like, I plan to be a homeowner. So a chunk of the money goes into the ISA with the government scheme. Yeah, I have a private account also for the mortgage. A bigger chunk, because the government scheme limits how much you can put monthly, a bigger chunk goes into that. Right. Because I'm saving for a home. I have my current account where the money goes into. I use that just as my main account. Just, you know, I can take money in and out, whatever. Then I have my other account with a different bank where I'm trying to build credit. I use that, and I use the credit card, and I buy things like big buys or whatever. But majority of the money goes into those ISAs, goes into the other private account for mortgage, and also I invest. Wow. I invest very carefully, so I don't take any risks. So any of my investments, so when the money is very little, I'm playing the long game. So I'm doing all of this because I've given myself a plan. Yeah. For a couple of years. Yeah. Because I don't want to wait and flipping retire pension. So I'm giving myself a plan where instead of me having to do what he's doing by sending money back home, I can sponsor people. Yeah, exactly. I can employ people. You're in a better position. I'll own a property outright. Yeah. Which means I can sell it, have more property, re-up, play the game. I can play the game. And I was trying to explain to him, it's like, you know, no offense to him, but he's not playing the game. Because this is what wealth management, this is what the wealthy are doing. Life is a game. You're either playing or you're getting played. Unfortunately. If you don't have a plan and monthly, you're getting, whether it's peanuts or whether it's a lot, if you don't have a plan and monthly, you're just living end to end like that, you're being played. Because you're selling or buying. So it means that you're just selling. If you're just sending everything back home, whatever, you might not necessarily be helping those people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because now they're relying on you. I'll tell you something, like, some of my hardest struggles and hardest hustles is when I was refused help, when there was no one on my side. Yeah. That's when that's when I made the most money. That's when I made the most gains. That's when I realized what it is to be a man. Some of my lowest points was when people were just enabling me to feel sorry for myself to not try. And it's dangerous. And it's dangerous. And it's like, so I explained to him, as a cleaner, I know people in his job who have built houses back home for their families and stuff, for themselves, and they've gone home and retired on a cleaner salary. And he's like, you know, you're talking nonsense or whatever. And I was like, no. So I called one of the guys over and he, you know, explained to him how you did it. And it was, again, they had a plan. They weren't doing this whole send money regularly. If someone needed an operation or something serious happened, they did it. But again, they were putting their money in accounts, using government schemes, just growing their money, investing the money any way they could, saving it. Yeah. So that in big chunks they could go back and buy land, buy building materials, or whatever. And now all those people that were, you know, hating and angry with them for not helping are now seeing the benefits and profiting because they have a place to stay. There you go. So then he realized, oh yeah, on my cleaner salary I can actually build a house. Wow. Yeah. But it's like he can't fathom it because he doesn't actually really see what he earns because every month a chunk of it's gone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, just what, even stuff like that. So even just like understanding the reality of, are you really helping? Because you can't help no one unless you help yourself. Big Kobe Bryant.
That's one thing I learned.
Big Kobe Bryant quote.
Yes.
When me and you were talking earlier, and you re-quoted it.
Yeah.
Where he was like, you gotta be selfish with your dreams.
You have to be selfish with your dream.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
My muse.
You gotta be selfish with your help. Like, if you really wanna help your loved ones,
Help yourself.
because then you're gonna be in a position where you can own things and you can employ people.
Yes.
You can now, if you have a higher standing, whether it's in business or property or whatever, your word is now of a high standing.
Yeah.
So you can recommend people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Put people
can,
in positions
instead
to
of
make
giving
themselves
them
better.
money to eat that week or whatever, now you can loan people deposits for housing. You know what I mean? Because now you have big money.
This is serious game, man. I feel like this is the stuff we should have been taught in school. I'm gonna be real. Money management, taxes, things like that, tax returns, ownership. Instead of useless history useless history and dumbass mathematics that got nothing to do. Nobody's doing E equals MC squared right now. Nobody's doing if X equals Y. Nobody's doing arithmetic. Nobody's doing none of that stuff. As soon as you leave school, the first thing that hits you dab in the face is debts, bills, commitments, money, taxes, etc, etc, etc. Now, if you was taught how to manage that stuff, we'd be better prepared for the war.
Management. And it's definitely a cultural, community, and ethnic thing. Because like I said, this world is a game everyone's playing. And what's happening is the ethnic people, there's a few of us, there's always outliers, there's a few of us who are doing really well. But the majority of us, following culture, we cannot compete with our non-ethnic counterparts. Because like I said, they are given the freedom and ability to reinvest their full sums.
It's privilege.
So when you see them out there, it's not just enjoyment. These people, even when they're buying a home, their deposit is from the bank of mum and dad. You see what I'm saying?
Because mum and dad built that up.
If you notice, that actually helps mum and dad.
Yeah. Credit wise, everything.
So it's like they don't need to worry about that child. That child is good. But then it's an investment in which that now they don't have to worry about that child having to leech off them later on in life because the child is set up. But because I know some people who do the opposite, who, again, different households. If it works for you, good. I'm just talking about what I see. I've seen situations where mum and dad are basically charging the child rent because they got a great job.
I know we can relate to that. In the comments, if you can relate to that, hit us up down in the comments. My bad, bro.
No, perfect. Because I've seen it where they're charging not just a rent, but they're charging a high rent because this person now got a high paying job. What they don't realize is they've just done deduction. They've just deducted that high paying job. They've just equalized it back to wherever it was
made
before.
me regular again.
So what happens is, mum and dad are not saving that money or doing anything with it. They're just enjoying life. So what happens is, in the future, that child still becomes dependent on you because they can't reinvest. They can't put a big deposit down on something. They can't make big moves because every month, a big chunk of that is going to mum and dad. So what ends up happening is that person feels extorted, so they leave and go rent privately. They're still renting and still paying a high price. You see, compared to the other person who is like, they can skip the whole renting stage, get the down payment from mum and dad, and just go straight into ownership, start being a landlord, start earning capital on the investment. This other person...
We're not taught this stuff. We're not taught this.
So there's a lot of traps. And then when you talk to the parents, it's not that they're evil or cruel. They strongly believe they're doing their child a favor and saying they're teaching them their discipline and money.
Oh my days.
They strongly believe that. But they don't realize that if you talk to the other parents of the non-ethnic child, they are saying the same thing. So then if they're both saying the same thing, let's look at the results.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're saying you're teaching discipline and money management, but then you're just siphoning a big percentage of that wage, and some of these parents are forcing the kids to also give to a religious organization as well. So it's like rent plus tithes and offerings or whatever else the religion takes, yeah? So they just end up becoming lifelong buyers, never sellers. So they're in the game, they're getting played, yeah? So they end up renting somewhere else. They end up having to use the lowest possible government scheme where you can never pay off. And they just end up trapped in this cycle. So when the parents are old, they can't even afford to like house them properly or house them nicely or send them back home. See how the traps, they become a burden on them. So no one ever really owns anything. The other parents, The non-ethnic ones, they're given this big chunk of money. This child immediately becomes a landlord.
Right.
Whether they're a landlord to other people or to themselves. Yeah?
They have that there. They got the option.
So they start making money off the property. That's a second income when you're sleeping. Or even if they don't rent out the property and they live in it, they stop paying rent.
Wow.
Imagine even if they pay a mortgage, they're gonna own. Yeah. So automatically a big chunk of their outgoings is cancelled. Remember, the other person is still paying rent.
Yeah.
Okay. They're already on a property ladder, so they can start looking at a second property. So now you're now a business person.
Right.
You're now a real estate investor. The other person is still a tenant. When mom and dad get old or whatever, if they want to, depend on the choice, they can give them one of their properties. They can send them back home to retire. They can, whether you agree or not, they can put them in one of the nicest old people's home and pay monthly. They can, whatever the option is. Yeah. You see, because they're owners, they're sellers. They're not
equity. Equity. They own it.
So then you just see, so the steps. So the race becomes backwards for one person, another person just stays on top. Now that non-ethnic person has a child, the cycle continues.
And they teach it.
See?
That's it.
So that's how you get generational wealth. A lot of people think generational wealth is like small. You have to be business. You have to own a shop or what. No, you can literally accumulate generational wealth just by owning the space you live in.
Well,
because within 4 generations, you know how many properties there are?
That's a lot.
And each property is hundreds of thousands of pounds, yeah?
Well, this is the flip side to that is a lot of people ain't in the financial situation to do those things.
Yep.
Like, we come from the hood. And in the hood, a lot of people feel like because you're in a particular place that it's easier. No, it's actually harder. Well, number one, the money that mom and dad are making aren't enough. So therefore, what they're doing is they're working overtime. They're working extra. And the immediate problems become the main problems. So they can't even think of owning certain things because most of their money is going to maintaining what they already have. Plus, they got family back home. So even the overtime that they're making, they're using that to maintain back home. Do you feel what I'm saying? And this is an ongoing problem. And a lot of us aren't taught that, wait a minute, we could do more with less. If we start taking care of people's problems in short term and we build something up and therefore then taking care of it in the long term, it would be more beneficial that way. But a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people can't have these conversations. A lot of people get offended by these things.
They'll say you're cruel, you're selfish.
This man right here just put me on game on something serious. I could go and tell that to my child. My child can go and watch this video when it come out. And he could see that I was learning this at 28 years old. So at 48 or 58, he can go back and see, well, bro, by the time my dad got to this age, this is what he was talking about. This is what he was thinking about, etc., etc. Why? Because 2 minds are better than 1. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's learned this stuff and he's literally passing it on to me. He's passing it on to you guys. And it's people of color that need to understand that we have more power in ownership and understanding that if we play the long game, it's a lot more beneficial than playing the short game. Sometimes short-term problems become the main problems, and these are certain things that we have to address and talk to each other about and how to figure out a way to get out of these things. So that's just what it is. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, a lot of people quote stuff. A lot of people, famous quote, give a man a fish and he'll eat today.
Yeah.
Teach a man to fish and you eat for the rest of his life.
Wow.
People quote that, but in their life,
they're not doing that.
You see the problems. Because it is hard. Making those kind of decisions, you will be called names, you will be called selfish, whatever, innit? But life is about results. Think about anything you've ever done to anyone, even your parents, that they weren't happy about. Yeah? Do you notice how the day you graduate uni, you were just the most amazing person in the world now? Bro, life is about results.
I can't even tell you. Like if you look around, if you look, you can see there's a glee on my face that I can't even explain because I know how hard I bust my ass for that. I know like the nonsense that I was being put through by my own parents, the threats that I was receiving. Like, if you don't graduate then, as if my whole life depended on the value of a piece of paper. Paper has messed up. Like, somebody put value on paper. Somebody put stock, rules and laws on paper. And they've made it to a point where in order to achieve certain papers, we'd have to do certain things. One thing I realized is in the beginning, I messed up at uni. I didn't pass uni. I was watching all my friends pass and graduate, and I wasn't passing. I wasn't graduating. I had to work for a long time. And I realized that I was going to uni for the wrong reason. I was going to uni for everyone else but myself. The minute I went back to uni for myself, that's when everything changed instantly. When I stopped listening to the pressures of everybody else, and I was like, if I want to go back, it's because I feel like I have not finished this thing. I gotta finish this thing. Now I've messed up the chance to go there and get a free ride over here in this country, because obviously we're put in a position where you can go uni, you can get your loan, it gets paid off for you, and you pay it off later when you work. I had to pay. So that meant uni and work. That meant more time. That meant more strains. That meant more things that a lot of people aren't privy to or understand. I was going uni for the wrong reasons. I was going uni for everybody else. I remember being in London working and people dragging me, saying stuff like, you know, acting as if I was there just because I didn't graduate at the same time as my other people. And the whole time I didn't realize I was in uni just because of everybody else, just because it was the thing to do, just because my parents was on my behind about this piece of paper, this degree being like some form of validation, and oh, you're behind and you spent so many years in education and this, that, and the, like, they're not teaching me, yo, how about when you get out, or how about you use your student loan?
What's the plan?
Like, to do this.
Start business or something.
What are you doing with, like, how about you put this to the side because of this? They were mostly just putting pressure on me and saying save, but they were not saying what I could save for. They were not giving me the full jewels of the game. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they just seen it as you got access to money, you're being foolish, save it. That's the end of it. They wasn't teaching me the whole game. Like, if you save it, your credit goes up, your score goes up, you can invest, you can buy certain things, you can get your car quicker, you could do this, you could do that, you could do. I wasn't taught none of that. Second of all, my values and what I deemed as important was all over the place, because I was still relying on my parents to spoon feed me my own values. I wasn't seeing value in myself. I was too busy thinking about what they thought. So it took me leaving uni, busting my ass, working every day at a job I didn't like, and realizing I gotta go finish uni. Not for nobody else, but for myself. By the time I graduated, bro, man, listen, after all of that, paying for 2 years and then finally having the third year, because you actually get 4 years free, I had to pay for the first 2 years, and by the third year, I was good. When I graduated at the end, the smile on my face, man, nothing else mad. Like, nothing. And I only say that to say, like, you need to uplift yourself. You need to teach yourself. You need to ask the right questions. You need to think about your decisions, because they can impact and affect not just your life, but your kid's life, their kid's life. And you need to start thinking ahead about what you want to leave when you leave this realm. If he did not give me this game, and if he did not put this on camera for it to be watched back hundreds of times, then it would just be something that he knows and that's it. But he's in a position where he feels as if, in order to move the community forward, because eventually people will see this and hear how he's eloquating the fact that there's other ways around to help your people then. There's other ways to get financial wealth. It seems like such a dream, because we've been told that we can't so much for so long, that we can't do this, that we're in the wrong positions, and, you know, we've been put. You're right. There's always a way around stuff. Always. And if you pass away, if you off yourself because of your immediate problems, you never see the other side of those things. That's just a fact. You can't give up before the game done. You can't finish the book before you finish the book. You can't say you want to help your parents and your family and friends if you're not well off, if you're not better off, if you haven't taken care of yourself and put yourself in a position where you are 100% good and you have extra.
Have you seen, you know, like multimillionaires and stuff? Mm-hmm. Have you seen their donations, like in church, in charity and all that? Like, they change lives, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
They change lives. I'm not saying you have to be a multimillionaire, I'm just giving an example. They change lives.
How did they get there, though?
You see how tunnel vision, focused, discipline.
This is Kobe left
unreachable. Like,
Kobe left something like 10 billion behind. Some wild 3 billion. Some
his daughters are good.
Like some wild number.
His daughters are good.
And you wouldn't know this, because he wasn't just somebody that just opened his mouth all willy nilly. His mind was. There's a quote that Stephen A. said that he said. He said 1 + 1 = 1 billion, and he was like, "What are you talking about, Kobe?" And Kobe was like, "When you go for something, you go for it all. You go in.
All or nothing, bro.
All or nothing. You bet everying on the house.
Yeah, that was
That's
his
it.
life philosophy. He used to say that a lot. That's his life philosophy. And because he used to say that a lot, as a young boy watching it, I adopted that.
That's it.
That's why I'm
That's
a lot
it.
of the ways I am now. Is like Babe Ruth, swing big, miss big.
That's it.
You
This
gotta-
man right
you
here
gotta
on my
try.
shirt. This man
You
on
gotta
Ali.
try. And you can't swing big if you always give. It's another thing. It's also like you're giving yourself an excuse. You can't swing big if you're always giving yourself the excuse of, oh, I couldn't do that because I had to help these lot or whatever. That's also you're creating a crutch for yourself because it allows you to not be in a position to try and fail or achieve.
You're not
Because
gonna know if you can fail if you
then
don't try.
you can now blame other people. Oh, I had to send money back home, so
No,
I don't
I'm
know
not
if
even
it
about
makes
to sit there and say that. Again, immediate problems are a thing. Everybody has immediate problems. Everybody has things that they need to tend to. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying that those aren't issues and problems. We're saying that there's other ways, there's other means to get around it. There's other ways that you can help your family if you are invested in yourself.
So
That's it.
this is gonna segue us into our next point. But before we go, I need to articulate this right so that it's not negative. But using the culture and ethnicity to hold back the generation that can make it. Are we gonna bun that?
BunDat.
It's using the culture. Because I think culture is the best word.
That's
to
the best
explain
word.
it. Using the culture
Yeah.
and
That is the best
ethnicity
word. Yes.
constraints to hold back the generation that are close enough to make it and help everyone.
BunDat.
And that segues us into the next point. So I saw an interesting post on Twitter the other day, the Bird app. Sometimes the Bird app is good, sometimes it's bad. It's like a lottery.
I keep saying, y'all know why I got off that.
So I saw an interesting post. This is a good one. So a guy, so I don't know if someone retweeted this guy. So a guy posted telling your friends, families, and loved ones you've just taken on a huge debt to go and study a degree equals everyone clapping and congratulating for you. Also, telling your friends, family, and loved ones you want to start a business equals everyone saying, "Are you sure you can do it? Make sure, like it's dangerous, risky." And then you put LOL at the end. So in
Why
case
is
you
it like that?
in case you miss it, let me break this down for you.
Why is it like that?
So-
I need to know why it's like that.
Again, I'm not knocking formal education because we both went uni.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just the mindset as well. Like that tweet resonated with me because you see it. So he said, telling your friends, families, and loved ones that you've just taken on all this debt. That's big money to go study a degree, and well, there's nothing. No job is secure at the end of it. Like you're not sure of. Everyone will clap for you and congratulate you. You haven't achieved nothing yet. All you've done is taken on the debt. You haven't even had day one yet. They will clap for you and congratulate you. They won't question it. Because my thing is not against it. My thing is to question it. Like, are you sure this is for you? Is that the right course? What can we do to help you achieve a job? Are you gonna do an access? Are you gonna do a placement? Like, none of those questions will happen. It's just they'll clap for you like you did something. All you've done is taking on debt. Now, telling your friends, family, and loved ones that you want to start a business, they will ask you all the questions about risk. You know, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to take this risk or whatever? Without checking, do you have a business plan?
Wow.
Or why are you interested in this field?
Not even, how can we help? I know someone. Check this person out.
So, yeah, this is the second thing I want to discuss. Is business and job. So I see these two fights all the time in the real world, on social media, as a musician myself, in rap lyrics, business for the world. So I always see, people who don't even have businesses. People who actually have jobs. This is the funniest thing. I've never seen a business owner talk like this. I've only seen people actually have jobs, always using business ownership to cost people a 9 to 5. First of all, whoever you look up to, yeah? Whoever you look up to in this world, whoever you look up to, yeah, in this world, whatever business they have or whatever, yeah, because they're chief executive officer of their company, because it's probably not them. So in case you guys are wondering, use this acronym all the time. CEO. CEO stands for Chief Executive
Officer.
So a lot of people even use it, don't even know. Yeah, their Chief Executive Officer is working a 9 to 5,
and a COO, Chief Operating Officer, same thing.
And they're working a 9 to 5, and they're making more money than you can dream of.
They all go clock in and clock out.
Facebook CEO and COO are working 9 to 5s. And they're making way more money than
any of
the
us.
budget of your healthcare.
Any of us right now.
You know what I mean?
They could end poverty tomorrow.
So there's levels to 9 to 5s. Also, if you've ever been
to... B. Simone, that don't like 9 to 5s.
Personal.
No, we getting on you. So, how it feel to be a plagiarizing, non-profiting, almost a 9 to 5 worker now?
Yo, you better careful. She might come with Boris and do both.
Good. Boris need to go sit down. He can't talk to me. He'll never have ways. We not gonna get onto him right now.
So now with businesses, if you've ever been like to a food festival or whatever, and it was like this really nice store you liked, whether it was like churros, donuts, foods, or whatever, innit, yeah? Because you look glam. That's a business. That's not 9 to 5. That's a biz. That's this, yeah. How much did they make that day? Depends on the festival. So there's levels.
They're taking the risk.
So there's levels to business 9 to 5. Majority of businesses fail. Like I said, that stall that you visit and bought your churros from or your fruits or whatever, that's a business.
Mm-hmm.
You're not glamorizing that. But
they wouldn't.
But that's a business, and they're going to struggle. According to what you see on a regular basis, statistics, they're more likely going to struggle and never actually make a profit if they're a stall. And that's a business. Only a few of them are going to be able to turn that stall into a shop or a franchise. Yeah. But most of them are not. So there's levels to this. The same way, there's top amazing businesses in all kind of categories. Weave, Nike, sneakers, whatever. And there's terrible 9 to 5s with minimum wage and terrible work conditions. So there's levels to this here, but it's whichever one's for you. Because there's one side of the fence that just want the complete security of a job. Yeah.
They want guaranteed money every month.
Yeah, and it's like
salary.
You need to understand, you can get complete security in a business. There's different fields, mate. There's businesses that are protected. They're called protected businesses, where you are protected and you're secure. People need to do more reading. The same way that 9 to 5 is not guaranteed you can get fired anytime. Yeah, you're expendable.
I remember what that was like.
CEOs, like I said, who are earning crazy money and stuff, in a lot of financial situations and crisis or business redeployments, so they're the first to lead.
Like right now, how many jobs have closed down? How many businesses have been shut off? How many people don't go work right now? What do you think happened to the CEOs and COOs of those businesses? Because
1 or 2 get to be CEO of another company if they're struggling. That's like 1 or 2. The rest,
gone.
They have CVs like you.
They're out of there. They might have to have a regular.
So there's security in a job. There's also security in business. And then there's insecurity in business. There's also insecurity in jobs. But there's this constant battle of which one or the other. Deep down is which one works for you. I make music. That's my business.
We both are creators. Yeah? He does the music. I do the poetry and the battle rap and music sometimes.
I make music. That's my business. I have a job. My job is more secure than my music right now. But you know what? My job pays for my music career. I wouldn't have achieved anything I achieved in my music career without my job. So one day, I plan, soon in the near future, inshallah, one day I plan that I will be able to leave my job and pursue music full time. I'm making waves. I'm looking at, traveling overseas. I'm not going to get too in detail for this because it's not for this topic. We need to stay on topic. But, the job's helping me buy plane tickets and make moves.
His music,
studio time.
His music is his investment in his business. He's making himself his business. He's making himself.
But I couldn't have done it without my job because there's so many other people who are also doing music and other stuff that can't do what I do. They can't invest what I can invest because they've just not have the access to the funds that I have because of my job. So you gotta be smart about it. Obviously there's the other side which a lot of people are aware of. A job can be a crutch and it can hold you back. You don't want that to happen. But starting out, you need income. Business needs money.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're gonna lose money. So you need to be able to re-up every month.
You definitely lose what you gain, and that's one thing that people don't understand.
So that's all the other sides. People try to shame 9-to-5s. I mean,
can't.
Listen.
Yeah, I seen Steph London say something.
There's 9 to. Funny you should say a rapper. There's 9-to-5s that your favorite rapper's whole career could never earn their yearly wage.
Steph London, B Simone. How many other people shame 9-to-5s? And it's just like,
All right.
Why would you do that?
Forget even like CEOs. Just like
the people paying you, the people you're in business with.
And then the crazy thing as well is like it's also disrespectful either way to shame either side of business. Or if you're gonna shame a 9-to-5 and go on the internet and shame a 9-to-5 and you work a 9-to-5, you're dissing yourself. No matter how much aspirations you have in the future, this is what you're doing today. You're shaming yourself. And second of all, you're being mad disrespectful to the people that brought you into this world and they're busting their ass. Your parents, they're working 9-to-5.
Yep.
So if you're dissing, you're dissing them. The same way, if you're saying, people risking business are silly and you're shaming them, and your dad, like his dad has a shop, or you're being mad disrespectful. Listen, you can have your aspiration and feel that one wave is better for yourself than the other without needing to put the other way down. And in my personal experiences, from what I've seen, you're only doing that because you're insecure and you're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because again, I've never seen any business person shaming 9-to-5.
They don't got the time. That's true.
It's not even that because they know.
They know the grind.
They're running a 9-to-5.
That's it. They know the grind.
They're the boss of a 9-to-5.
That's it.
The people under them are working 9-to-5. How are you gonna be a business owner and shame a 9-to-5?
You can't.
If you're a rapper,
you need the people at the ground level.
If you're a rapper, and you're shaming 9-to-5. Yeah. Then your publicist, the people who do the charts.
Yes. Yes.
Without them,
the people in charge of the studio space you working in. Stuff like that. All 9-to-5s. So who are you really talking to? Or you just talking
without them, and then the people buying your records.
Crazy. All 9-to-5. So you just diss the people
working in the club.
Yeah, you just diss the people that's funding you to be sitting there saying you'll never, like, what? It don't make sense. I don't think people think when they open their mouth and say some stuff.
But then,
Boris.
I keep it clearly to me it's coming from a place of insecurity. Because all these people saying this of a certain age, I'm not gonna get into that because I don't want to generalize, but of a certain age, and they're not doing anything in life yet. They're not running a successful company. For them to be saying the things they want to say and trying to put other people off. Because I will say it again, there's some 9-to-5s that I look at and I'm just like, whoa. And it's not even just the money, the life-work balance. Consultants, like, it's like on a consultation basis. There's consultants that do about 3 or 4 consultations a year.
Wow.
They're not like CEOs, 3 or 4 a year, and they're on 6 figures. Because what is happening, you've studied and you become the top 10% expert in your field.
Right.
Politicians do this a lot. Whenever they leave power, like Tony Blair's a consultant right now.
Ain't he in America making like
crazy money? You know what I'm saying? That's a 9-to-5. Your new idea worth more than Tony Blair? I mean, I don't like the man, but we're talking numbers right now.
Yeah. I don't like him.
Your idea today, I don't know what it could be tomorrow. I hope it works, but your idea today worth more than Tony Blair?
It's a question for B Simone.
You can't even get in the room with Tony Blair right now.
They want to plagiarize work. B Simone.
Do you know what I mean? So that's something I see as far as is messing up the mental capacity of a lot of people. A lot of people are like going with it, taking grants, which is good, but then also taking loans and just jumping on the bandwagon, not doing enough planning, not having a business plan, just thinking, F this 9-to-5. Listen, you're going to work a job and you're not going to like it. This is a reality. This is also a reality, yeah? If I give you your dream situation, your dream job, whatever you think you like, yeah? After the novice period works off, guess what? You're not going to like it. You see that professional footballer that you look up to that goes clubbing and whatever, you think he has a great life, yeah? Yeah? He appreciates that he gets paid all the money to play football. Guess what? He doesn't always enjoy playing football.
No.
Because training is tough. And they have to go to Moscow and play that team in the snow and the rain.
Like, it don't matter what happens.
And when his leg is broken,
that's it.
he's getting pressured and pushed
Yes.
to do squats and try and get back quicker. And,
Yeah.
and he's, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not making an excuse for them, but
Look at KD.
you're not going to like everything.
Look at Kevin
So the
Durant.
same way you don't like your job or whatever, use that to motivate you to get to the next level. But don't think that when you get to the next level, you're just going to like everything.
No. Life is hard, man. A lot of people work jobs that they don't like.
A lot of people who look up to
I know people right now are busting their behind in works in jobs that they don't like. But they have to do it because they know that they've got goals and aspirations.
to get to the next level.
They're not
Mark
thinking
Zuckerberg,
about. They're not thinking about their current situation. Remember, we were talking about current problems.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about their current problems. They're thinking long
the
term.
next level.
How am I gonna be able to never be able to do this again? How am I gonna put myself in a position where I never have to do this ever again?
And you know what's crazy about that? That job they're thinking of, there's some guy in a very underprivileged place that is thinking, how can I put myself in a situation where I can do that?
Imagine that.
Mark Zuckerberg cries and bitches on the internet sometimes during interviews. And people, oh my God, he's so rich. Why he's crying? Because he doesn't always like his job.
No.
The same way you don't like yours.
No.
He doesn't want to sit in front of the computer all day.
No.
He doesn't want to deal with staff complaints. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not.
He's Mark Zuckerberg.
So it's
he
like-
has trillions and trillions of people.
And he still doesn't always like his job. And it's his company.
Yeah.
He doesn't always want to come in.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
it's the same with P. Diddy. P. Diddy is the same way.
So you just have to think about this mindset of if you're trying to do something you enjoy, and there's no shame in enjoying wanting to work somewhere, wanting to work for someone. If that's what you want to do, that's what you enjoy. Just know that it's not always going to be rosy. Just make sure you're doing it for the reasons that you have towards your growth or your gain. The same way, if you want to own something, boy, make sure you enjoy it. Because those sleepless nights and stuff of running a business, you better love what you do.
Look, I'll put it to you like this, man. We boss up behind in more ways than you will ever see in front of this camera. And we still come here to do this because this is not work for us.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is fun. This is something that we know.
This
for
is
this
fun.
hour, this is our space to express ourselves.
You just made me think of something. Also, when, not if, when we do get picked up
Yeah.
and nationalized and international and we're
Yep.
big or whatever, we are not going to enjoy it as much as we enjoyed this.
No.
Do you know why? Because there'll be corporations involved.
People
There'll
telling
be-
us
there'll be
what to do,
staff involved.
how to do.
You know,
whatnot.
there will be contracts involved. You know, there will be different times of shooting. We won't just be able to shoot it when we're ready, when we're comfortable.
I'm dreading it already.
See what I'm saying? And again, we will be in the position that we worked to get in. But it will be work.
Yeah. Right now, this not work. And a lot of people, shout out to Nkusi, he always says that it's more about the process than it is about the destination and the result.
Yes, and that's what people miss.
This process right now, us being able to go through these things, you've seen from the first episode up until now, the difference in level and camera quality and lighting and all of that.
Hair length and that.
You know what I'm saying? Hair length, like, we change as people, we grow and we get more mature and we speak more eloquently, we learn more words, we read more books, we listen to more quotations and more quotes and whatnot. We see certain role models and muses in different lights and whatnot. Just like this man right here, which is why I'm proudly wearing this shirt. A lot of people only saw him as a boxer. And people didn't understand
Civil rights activist.
he was one of the greatest humans ever. He was the greatest humans ever. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, he made sure that he was more than just an athlete. He made sure that his legacy and his name will forever ever be respected outside of his profession. Another person that did that, and unfortunately he passed away, is Kobe Bryant. A lot of us only know him for basketball. A lot of people don't know he's one of the most savviest, smartest businessmen and one of the most craziest creatives ever that's won Emmys,
Won an Oscar.
Oscars, and all sorts
Straight
of
after
things
he retired from ball.
that people called impossible just because they knew him for basketball. And this man was on his way to become one of the greatest storytellers of all time. Stories. Imagine he spent his whole career telling the story of his jump shot and he ended up doing it in animation, in books.
I like that.
Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of people are going to put you in this weird box and expect you to only be a certain way because they can't see past or they can't see where you're going. So I will say it again. You got to be selfish with your dream. You got to be selfish with your goal. You got to understand that it's your goal and not too many people going to like it. You know how many people wanted to start podcasts and they just don't do it?
There's people and you know what's crazy? And there's other people who are just podcasting with their phone. They don't even know what it is.
They're not doing what they're doing. They're not.
And they just post on their phone and they're blowing up.
A lot of people see me and they're like, yo, I wanted to start, but this happened and that happened and that happened. Like, if you wanted to do it, you'll make sure it works somehow. You make it work somehow. If
you get one viewer, do you realize that's something you've put out in the world and another human being decided
to take the time
interesting, I want to watch.
Yeah.
Do you know how crazy that is?
You've already impacted that one person's life. You've impacted that one person's life and you made a difference.
That's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. You've impacted that one person's life and you made a difference in their life forever.
What's his name?
Muhammad Ali.
His mama called him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. Cassius Clay.
His name is Muhammad Ali. He always does this. His name's Muhammad Ali, bro.
His mama called him Clay?
No.
I won't call him Clay.
He's Ali.
She birthed him.
Doesn't matter. He changed the name himself, and that's what I'm saying. You are able to change your legacy, bro. A lot of people were so mad that he changed from Cassius to Ali, and they didn't understand that it was something that he chose to do for himself.
And again, they will probably say, oh, he's selfish, his mom gave him no. It's his life.
It's his choice.
And he did the greatest justice to his mom.
Yes.
By the way he lived his life.
Yes.
Not in a name change.
Yes.
But just by the way he lived his life.
The example that he set.
And he put himself in a situation to take care of his mom. Why did he do that?
What? His kids, everything, everybody all good. Why is that? Because he fought through racism. In the 60s, where it was highly unlikely that a lot of black people would just not be able to do anything. And if he wasn't a boxer or something like that, he'd probably be dead. Because he always spoke his mind. He always did things that he knew was more beneficial to his people than he would for people that didn't look like him. I
have a theory on Muhammad Ali speaking his mind.
Go on.
After you've knocked out some of the baddest, strongest guys in the world, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You feel the need to say whatever you want because you know if anyone tries it, because now it's not even like what you think of yourself. You know for a fact that listen, if you don't like what I'm saying, what?
Yeah.
I'm Muhammad Ali. So I have a theory that his confidence grew with him speaking his mind with every win in a fight. Because the world gets to see you knock out the biggest, baddest people. It's like,
you know what's crazy? Like, he really did some of that. There were some people that just always felt like, nah, you're not going to lose. You're not going to win against this person. And he proved them wrong every time.
Hell yeah.
Every time.
Hell yeah.
He wasn't the greatest just because of what he did in the ring. He was greatest because of how he carried himself. He was the greatest because he set an example, because he was able to stand up in the face of a time where people were stringing up black people and it's illegal to be black. And he said he's going to represent the black man, put us in a certain positive light, stand out, be the best at something, so they got no choice.
He achieved.
And he definitely achieved. He achieved. His daughter achieved. Like, bro, that name Ali is going to go on forever and ever and ever because of what he did. But he did not stop, and he did not allow his surroundings to limit him in any way, shape or form. He beat those things.
This is gonna segue into our last little good lighthearted plan. But before we do that, okay. So, regardless of your stand on work or job, using your chosen life plan to basically just vilify and insult what other people are doing. We're gonna bun that?
Of course we are.
Okay, so using your decision of whether to be in work or business, but to basically cuss and disrespect other people that have a different work plan. I mean, if you own a business and you don't like 9 to 5s, how you gonna find workers?
You just cussed out all your workers.
And if you're pro 9 to 5 and you're not, you think businesses ain't nothing, how you gonna make deals with other companies?
Yeah, like who you working for? Who you gonna work for?
Okay, so yeah, using any platform to disrespect earnings or earning potential of a field you don't agree with,
BunDat.
So now we're moving on the third and final. Yeah, it's a bit lightheaded, yeah? I mean, lightheaded. What am I talking about? Because we're talking about durags, silk. Yo, the elephant in the room. Let's get back on this silk, and it's just materials. I don't know about you guys, yeah? Maybe girls.
What do you not think?
Maybe girls relate to this more than guys. As a guy, I love silk. I love the way it feels on me. I love the way it looks. I like touching it.
I like that and chinchilla too.
Since I was young, I would buy silk shirts.
I love silk.
Like cheap shirts, cheap. I couldn't afford like a Nike tracksuit or whatever, so I'll get my little tenner. That I would save, and I'd go. There used to be a place called Peacocks. Like if people cuss Primark now,
my days.
There used to be a place called Peacocks, yeah. And every now and then we'll get like some silk.
My behind,
get some little silk. I used to wear. I love silk. Like silk is like a material. I love seeing it on people. I love
silk,
seeing it on
velour.
Females.
Yes.
I can't say that on women.
Yeah, what is that about?
It dehumanizes them. Someone schooled me.
What? So calling a man a male dehumanizes a man?
Yeah, it's a man. Because man is of human species, human, woman, but male or female could be anything. So you could have a male rabbit, yeah?
And you can have...
You can't have a man rabbit or a woman rabbit. You can have a male rabbit or a female rabbit, but you can't have a man rabbit or a woman rabbit. I'm not good at explaining. Someone schooled me. I'm good at learning.
I'm just gonna leave that alone.
All I knew is I was wrong and she was right. Okay?
That's what y'all doing.
But silk, man.
That's the one.
It's looking good on you, on your skin tone or whatever.
Man,
if you sleep at what do you guys think? I want to order.
Yeah, what y'all think?
I want to order one of these and I want to wear it out. I'm thinking of an idea. I'm not gonna put it out there because y'all like to steal on the internet.
Also, we gotta talk about our winners. I don't think we got the names now, but what we gonna do for our winners now that certain people have...
Okay, so in last week's podcast, you guys were to guess my favorite color, which is red. Very difficult to guess. That episode was very difficult to get. Favorite color is red. Couple of people have won. I'm gonna choose 5 winners, and you guys are gonna get a gift voucher. Yeah, you're gonna get a gift. It's gonna be for a good amount of money. Do you know how much? It's gonna be for £25 each. 5 winners.
I want that.
£25.
Forget them. Give that to me.
So what I'm gonna do is, there's gift vouchers that are accepted in multiple places, because instead of me choosing a specific place, like say I choose like a sporty place, and you're more into like some makeup or something else. So the gift vouchers, I've seen it. Can't remember the company name, but I've seen it where it's like it can be used in different places. So it gives you a lot more freedom. So I'm gonna be contacting you guys, getting the gift vouchers out to you. If you're not in the UK, sorry, because I'm bringing it personally. I'm bringing it to you. Gonna be a photo or anything. So you guys check your emails and social, whatever. So I think some of you are already got in contact with, but you're gonna be getting those gift vouchers. And then stay tuned on BunDat podcast, because there'll be other giveaways. There'll be bigger prizes. You know what I mean? Even at £25, it's still big compared for what we are.
If they don't want to give it to me, that's all I know. If you're not going to take
get a gift voucher,
I'll take that.
You know what I mean?
Because I need that.
Stay tuned. There's gonna be like bigger prices as we work with more companies and sponsorships. So this one is coming from in-house. This is coming from BunDat podcast. There's no sponsorship
at all.
It's just
us
from us, because some of you are really smart and you guessed that my favorite color was red. I don't know how you guessed that.
It's really difficult.
We've got some smart viewers, man.
Man, I'm glad we don't got a stupid audience. That's all I know.
Damn.
I'm glad we got a smart audience.
They're uni. They have a 9 to 5 and a business.
Come on.
Damn.
Come on, that's who we're speaking to. We're speaking to people that are able to decipher things and understand things and accumulate and assimilate things.
Woo, the poet.
I mean, I write poetry sometimes.
But let us know in the comments what you think of this durag right here.
Yeah, let me know. I got one more. You don't want to see me durag or no durag? Let me know.
Also, let me know, because I want to get one. I actually want to wear it out. I want to wear it around town. Dreads are getting messy.
Look. All I know is I got the idea for a silk durag from Nate Trey Young. Shout out to Nate Trey Young. I was telling him that I'm gonna find one, because he had a cold red velvet one that was just like.
And what's with London? I'm sure that person is not from England, right? Are they?
No, Nate.
Nate.
Yeah,
but is he ordering it overseas?
I think he bought it from London.
What?
I think he bought it on the internet, bro. I think so. Or he went
because London,
maybe packs or something.
Because England and stuff, you can get satin. Silk is like what the material silk is hard to get. So it's like now, it's like even when you go to the high street, it's like hard, like silk is like. What is it with England?
It's a rare material, and you know England don't.
Where I'm from, it's not.
Well, unfortunately, these Oibos just like to take stuff. They don't like to make stuff.
You know.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
But yeah, let's wrap it up. Hope you guys have taken some gems away from today's episode. We tried to be informative, and you know, let us know if you relate to any of the issues that we discussed with the families, with the money, with the trying to help out other people, helping out yourself, looking selfish, education, work, business. Let us know. And as always, also, let us know if there's something that is affecting you that you want us to discuss, you know, because on BunDat podcast, what we don't do is those same topics on these other podcasts. Like, how many times can they discuss like interracial dating?
Mixed race people, black people.
Some of these questions is like, raw. Who's clicking that? But they are getting views. So yeah, let us know if there's anything you want to discuss, anything pressing.
Don't give us no boring subject to discuss.
No subject is boring. Put it out there if you want us to discuss it, and we might air it. But no subject is boring. We might just ignore it. But put it out there.
Unless you're Boris Johnson, then you're always going to be boring.
We need to get Boris on. You need to go head to head with him.
If your name Boris Johnson, you're just always going to be boring to me.
What, there's more smoke? Yeah?
It's just boring.
I keep saying, Boris, if you don't reply, the world is going to
You're
take
soft.
this.
That's what you are.
Take this as facts.
It's always facts. That's what it is.
Facts.
That's just what it is. It's facts. Like,
I'm going to do something with that. I'm going to do something with that.
I know.
I might add some audio to that.
I know.
I'm going to boost it.
I know. You're going to have to, because that's what it is. Boris Johnson, you muppet.
Whoa. Hey, I like Kermit. Don't cast Muppets. I grew up in the Muppets. we won't leave it there before he goes into another Boris rant.
We definitely don't leave it there. But, you know, like, comment, share, subscribe. I've been AJ Raw.
King Aries.
And you've just finished listening to BunDat Podcast.